Why did Satan go to Jesus and say, turn these stones into bread? How is making stones into loaves of bread a sin? As a matter of fact, if Jesus would have even done it, what law would he have broken if he would have did it? Matthew chapter 4, verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. Notice that Satan said, if thou be the Son of God. It wasn't that long ago when Jesus was in the Jordan River and his Father from heaven said, this is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. Those words were still ringing in Jesus' ears, and here comes Satan already trying to cast doubt on what the Father had said. So you can already tell that Satan knew exactly what he was doing when he approached Jesus with the first temptation. Now, before we can understand this temptation clearly, we need to first take a look at what Jesus took on. Philippians chapter 2, verse 6. Who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Jesus laid aside his divinity. When he came down here to live on this earth, Jesus had to live a human life just like you and me. He was given no extra help, no extra power. Jesus had to walk the walk just like every human being from day one. But even with that being said, is Jesus exactly like me and you? I mean, was he like us in every point or just some points? Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16 and 17. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. Notice what the Bible says. He did not take on the nature of angels. He took on the nature of human beings. That's me and that's you. And the Bible also says Jesus could be tempted in every point like me and you. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21. For even hereunto were you called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow in his footsteps. So let's make this make sense, right? Satan comes to Jesus and he asks Jesus to do something that is beyond human beings. You and me cannot turn stones into bread when we are hungry. If we all were in a building and Superman walked in the building and he said, follow me, and then he put his hands up in the air and then he flew through the roof, could you and me follow him? No. Well, why? Well, because we do not have Superman's nature. I'm not a Kryptonian. I don't have the power of flight. I can't follow Superman's example because I'm not like Superman. So when it came to the first temptation of Christ, the reason why Jesus could not turn those stones into bread is because when you and me, when we get hungry, we can't take something in an inanimate object and turn it into food. Satan was trying to get Jesus to cheat and use his divine power, something that you and me cannot do. Jesus never performed a miracle for selfish reasons. He never performed a miracle to relieve himself of anything that he was going through. He made sure that whatever you and me have to experience, he went through that experience exactly how you and me are supposed to. That's why this temptation was such a strong one for Jesus, because the Bible says Jesus hadn't eaten in 40 days and 40 nights. Now, if you and me hadn't eaten in 40 days and 40 nights, and I had the ability to turn something into food, oh, I definitely would do it. But the thing is, Jesus knew that if I do this, I can't leave my life as an example for everybody else who I'm trying to save. So Jesus had to rely upon the power of God and be patient and wait for God's timing for him to find relief. In Hebrews chapter 2, verse 18, for in that he himself has suffered being tempted, he is able to aid those who are tempted. So the Bible says because Jesus is exactly like you, he has the nature like you, he was tempted in every point like me and you. When you and me go through something, Jesus knows exactly what needs to be done to make sure that you get the help that you need. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. This is one of 3 videos that I'm going to do on the temptations of Christ. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section.